In this week's episode, we bring in brand safety expert Scott Cunningham. Now, Scott was the founder of the IAB Innovation Tech Lab. He was also the president of Media Group Interactive and a pioneer in developing USAtoday.com. So he's a really excellent resource for both brands and publishers. And by the way, you both work together because brands buy advertising on publishers and publishers serve ads to brands. What do we get into? We get into why both parties, publishers and brands, now need to really ramp up their investment in first-party data collection.
Capturing of that first-party information is really critical for them right now, too, in the next 12 months, because as you think about how they want to market to those consumers or future consumers, they want to be able to match that first-party information, whether it be the World Wide Web, mobile, or CTV, in such an effective way that if they're not thinking about how to transact with that first-party information and capture that first-party information now, they'll be behind the curve.
We also talk about ad fraud. It's been in the industry, it's been an issue for a while, but more specifically, why first-party data can potentially reduce ad fraud for your brand over time, save you millions of dollars.
In third-party transactions of data, you have a lot of obfuscation intermediaries, especially in open web type programmatic auctions. And that allowed criminals, and still does, to hide, okay? And when you think about now first-party data, that obfuscation and the amount of intermediaries sitting in the middle lessens.
We also get into the Brand Safety Institute, of which Scott is also writing a ton of white papers. In fact, you can learn how to get all of his white papers, things that you need to think about from a brand perspective around safety and compliance, especially as you collect first-party data.
The best way to solve fraud problems is to be the best practitioner of buying that you possibly can and know who your partner is, know what channel you're buying, and most importantly, obviously understand what campaign metrics you want to get, because certain campaign metrics clearly are going to be, if you want massive scale, but all you need is brand lift with massive scale, there could be some crap in there, some garbage in there. You don't want to go down that route, right? And so these are all best practices that I think buyers can do. And now with first-party data, it changes it. But keep in mind, where there's money, there's crime.
On CTV, OTT, SSAI, and if you don't even know what those are, you're probably already using them. Your intermediaries or your agencies are buying media for your brand on those channels, and you need to understand what the potential is, what the impact is, and what the future looks like for them.
You're only as good as your knowledge of what's happening in the market. And so this is kind of up to you as a brand marketer or, your agency to say, if I'm going to buy on CTV channels, what percentage of measurement blind spot am I really buying at this point? How do I know that my ad was delivered there? These are all very valid questions that are part of their brand safety framework that I would argue that they need to be up to speed on.